here I am in Cathedral Park in Portland, Oregon, in the home of one of the many quad gods. So here I am saying a little prayer right before I send it. And I'll say a little prayer for the rest of you guys too. Finally made it to the room. Well guys, I'm sure you've noticed that I haven't been doing any part reviews lately. And that's because I have not been buying new parts. About 4 months, 5 months ago, I think 5 months ago, I decided I was going to settle on a platform. But I hadn't done it yet. I was still scouting out parts or buying things or something. But about 4 months ago, what, 4? Sorry, 3 months ago. It was right after I came back from Nubapalooza, actually, down in Fort Worth. I got all my parts in, and I decided it was time to build what I was calling my platform, right? My formula. And all it was a rock-solid group of parts that had excellent reliability, seemed to be very durable, had a high reputation, with the idea that I wanted to build these things. I built a pair of quads, and to date I haven't even flown the second one. But I built a pair of quads, and I did that so that even if one crashed well enough that it was kind of down and out, or if I'm going to a tournament of some kind or a race, I can take both with me, and I can throw the other one right into the air right behind this one, and it was, for all intents and purposes, a clone. I did this with the idea that if I fly the same frame, with the same motors, with the same props, with the same weight distribution, with the same everything, day in and day out, that less and less the quad would be a reason why I wasn't improving. Because if the quad is the same, and the rates are the same, and the tune is the same, and I'm not changing any of that stuff, then it's all on me. And I feel like in the last 3 months, I have come leaps and bounds. I literally found my flow. Doesn't mean that I always fly in the flow state, you know. Once in a while, yeah, I get in it, I'm feeling it, there's just nothing I can do wrong. It's just that I am well enough versed in this quad and the way it flies now to where I can pretty much know how it's going to react in certain situations and how it's going to fly. I don't have to wonder if I'm going to be able to pull it out of a dive or any of that stuff. And without that to worry about, without feeling like I don't know my quad, I've been able to just rip. And I've been able to push myself to do things, to do more and more new things that I'm not comfortable doing and that I've never done before. So it's been really, really cool to be able to just do that. So once again, in case you guys are new to this and haven't seen my other videos where I break down what's in this thing, I have the Flosstyle 5-inch frame, so that has, you know, the 5-inch body with 6-inch arms, which accommodates 5-inch props as far as clearance goes, you can see here, just because of the way the dimensions fit and everything. Yeah, stupid camera. I have a Micro Eagle 2. I'm running XM Plus receivers. I do have a 1000 microfarad cap on both builds. AK32 ESC, Heli-Nation Talon F4 20x20 flight controller mounted in the butt. What in the butt? What in the butt?
I said what in the butt? I said what in the butt?
I've been running these Strix Hoots pretty much exclusively on the transmitter, which is a TBS Unify Pro Race Edition. I did pick up 3 tramps because of the form factor. They're really small, they're really light. They have a remarkable reception from all of their users. And then I'm running Sumax Innovation motors, 2600 kV variety, 2207. And that is because, oh yeah, listen to those bearings, boy. And that's because the sales rep for Sumax, Wu Mei Huang, has been selling these for $10 a piece. So I bought 16 motors. Figured that would last me a while. That's enough for 2 builds, twice over 4 quads, with a lot of spares. And then I have the Brain 3D TPU accessories, namely the SMA mount for the rear because there's just not enough room between the props and everything, and having this come off at a 45, it gets clearance. My antennas never end up in the props. And then I'm running, as far as batteries go, I have 4 Thunder Power Adrenaline 80Cs. These are from about a year ago. Still have great internal resistance. They are my battery that I fly when I really want to be sharp, because I can really control where the weight distribution ends up on this quad. If I want it just a little front heavy, I can get it, or it ends up being very, very well balanced right in the center of the frame there. The other batteries I'm running, and I have quite a few of these, are the CNHL 1300 mAh 100Cs. I run all 1300 mAh batteries, but the CNHLs are definitely larger, and they make this just slightly butt heavy, you know, but for stick time they're fine. And then last but not least, you can see I'm always flying with a GoPro Hero Session 5. They're so cheap on eBay now. You get them directly from GoPro, refurbished for like 130, 135 shipped, and once in a while you can find a coupon code like I did with this one, because I actually have 2 of these now. I got it for $115 shipped. That's a no-brainer. And for you guys out there flying all those wonky, cheap cameras and looking for other things, you can still get these, and you should be getting these. And don't get the Session 4s, the regular Sessions. Get the Session 5s. Just do it. But that is this platform. That is what I've been flying for 3 months with 0 changes. None. And I am extremely happy with the progress that I've made on this. But to get back to my original point, that's why I haven't been doing any flight controller reviews or any motor reviews or any of that stuff, because with me settled on this hardware, and I have spares at home. So not only do I have 2 quads, I have spare flight controllers, spare ESCs, spare motors. I just don't need to buy stuff. What I have been doing is running a short series called Just the Tip. And with all the little things that I'm finding out that make the difference in how the quad flies or just the pilot's experience, I'm going ahead and throwing that stuff out there. I'm not turning it into one of these long videos like right now, or, you know, just running on and rambling on. It's just a quick 1.5 minute or less, short and to the point video. So, speaking of that, here's your next Just the Tip. So now you don't have to watch it when it comes out, if you've made it to this point. I'm sure some of you guys are still running nylon standoffs in here to mount your flight controllers and your 4-in-1 ESCs and everything. And if you are undoubtedly crashing, and when you crash, I will put money that you are breaking standoffs. It's just a quick 1.5 minute or less, short and to the point video. So, speaking of that, here's your next Just the Tip. So now you don't have to watch it when it comes out, if you've made it to this point. I'm sure some of you guys are still running nylon standoffs in here to mount your flight controllers and your 4-in-1 ESCs and everything. And if you are undoubtedly crashing, and when you crash, I will put money that you are breaking standoffs. And isn't it a huge pain in the ass to have to take a quad apart to replace standoffs all the time, or have a quad with a case of the jitters? So what I do, I have M3 screws that run, you can see here, run all the way up through the stack, and what I use are the soft mount gummies that normally you put in your flight controllers and your ESCs. I also use them between the flight controllers, ESCs, or the other boards in the stack as spacers. And so I just put a board, put spacers, put another board, put spacers, however many times I need, and then I put a nut on top to just kind of hold everything down. That way it doesn't vibrate or I don't have stuff coming off. I have never, since I started doing that, and I started doing that over a year ago, I have never had standoffs break since I've done that. So there's your tip. One of the other things I've done is I got this case. Now, one of the things I was doing, actually I've got a couple things, so let me open this case real quick and you'll see some of why. I also went ahead and got some new goggles a little while ago. Went with the Flosstyle Falcons. Super happy with these things. They're 16 by 9, which, you know, that's a preferential thing. I like 16 by 9. I've worn the HD3s and flown with the HD3s. I've also worn the HD2s and flown with those. You know, they're very good. Don't take that anyway. Fat Sharks are definitely cream of the crop for a lot of reasons, but there were features that these had that the Fat Sharks don't that I prefer. The first being that the DVR auto records when I power it on, and when I unplug it, it stops recording and it doesn't lose footage. So I don't have to manually start and stop my DVR. The second is, because the fan is integral to these units and is on a switch, I just leave it on, and every time I plug it in, the fan comes on. Those are two of the biggest reasons that I got these, along with having such good screens for the 16 by 9 and having a really good field of view for the 16 by 9. As far as not having a tracker bay for the people that like to run LaForge, I know LaForge is, it seems to be the best, but I'm running TrueD 3.6 in here. I just don't have any problems with it. So now that I've got that, you know, these take a lot less room in my luggage for traveling, but the case for these was large. Okay, they do come with a large case by comparison of Fat Shark cases. And my transmitter was just sort of floating around in my bag. So what I did was got this case so that everything fits in the case. Well, when I say everything, I get my antennas, I get my transmitter antenna, I gotta take it off to get it in here. Doesn't matter to me. Got a Fat Shark battery, and I get everything in this case and get it zipped up, and it fits real nice in my carry-on. It's also nice because when I travel, I don't have my Low Pro with me. It gives me one extra piece of gear to pack my stuff in that's nice for when I'm traveling, especially if for some reason I don't want to unpack my backpack with my work stuff, repack it with quad stuff. Just grab this, I throw batteries and spare antennas in here, I'm good to go. So everything you've been watching the last couple months and up to this video, you know, revolves around this stuff, and once I got this stuff, I have not changed. It's definitely paying off for me. Now I know I still fly a lot of parks. It's just what I have in my area. But when I travel and I can get outside of something that's just a park, I do. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you on that. I'm going to get to editing this footy and get it uploaded. So thanks for tuning in if you did. If you didn't, you should be. And happy crashing.